Hi everybody, welcome back. We are playing more Disney Villainous, Solitaire style, and this is the last video for the villains from the original release of the game, The Worst Takes It All. We are playing as Prince John from Robin Hood. I really love his mover. It's really, it's a different take than any of the other movers. The others are sort of like a silhouette of the character, and they just went with the crown for him. And that's pretty cool, I think. Why is there a mini jar of jam on David's table, you ask? Well, this is what I'm keeping these little tokens in. I raved about these during Ursula's video. I'm adding these to Mother Gothel's game. We'll get to that later, but for now I'm actually also going to use them for Prince John's game. I ordered some little plastic yellow gems to use for his game. Why, you ask? Hush, we'll get there. I'll show you what we're going to do with these shortly. Alright. Okay, we'll get rid of that jar of jam so that doesn't distract us. And we're going to jump right in. So our previous villain was Queen of Hearts. She and Prince John have very different goals from anyone else. They're not looking for a particular card or trying to defeat any particular hero. They have unique goals. Prince John's objective is start your turn with at least 20 power. Well, that doesn't sound so hard, you say. Just don't play any cards, keep collecting power, and then boom, you've got it. Haha, not that easy. I do think Prince John is a good villain for first-timers to play, because there's not a lot of complicated stuff going on, but because his objective can seem deceptively easy, it's easy to get lost or to play your game too slow. And also, people just tend to fade him because they can see how much power you're stacking up. And they're like, oh my gosh, he's getting close, let's fade him. So you're going to have a lot of heroes coming at you. You've got to get your realm ready. A lot of his game, for me, is building up my forces to protect my wealth. That's timely. Protecting our wealth with soldiers and such. Anyway. You'll notice that one of his locations looks a little different than the others. There are no action symbols up here. And that's so that we can move heroes over there and they cause us less trouble. That's the jail. So we can get them out of our way. We have one less action symbol at this location, but there's nothing that a hero is going to cover up and annoy us with over there. So looking forward to that. Okay. Let's draw our first 4 cards. And then just for a quick intro, this is the Solitaire Rules. So we have 20 turns to accomplish our objective. I have 20 coins right there. I'm going to discard one at the end of every turn until I have none left, and then if I haven't accomplished my objective, then I lose. You can also use a 20-sided die. Start with the die with the 20 side up, and then turn it down to 19 after your first turn, and so on until you get down to 1. And then we also have our 6-sided fate die. That's chocolate on my hand. I'm sorry, I'm snacking behind the scenes. With our 6-sided fate die to roll between our turns to see if we get fated. Okay, I think Prince John's game is a lot of fun. So let's get started. Usually when I start a villain's game, so you got to move to a location, I usually go to where there is a gain 3 power symbol plus 2 play a card symbols. And you'll notice he doesn't have that. He's got his gain 3 power symbol here, but there's only 1 play a card. And then he's got 2 play a card here, but it's only 2 power. Plus this can get covered up by a hero. And so obviously this spot right here is kind of a prime target for heroes to hit. so that they can keep you from gaining power. But we're going to go to the church anyway. Not something Prince John does frequently, I'd imagine. Get our 2 power, and then let's see. Oh, we got some pretty decent cards. You know what? So, oh dear, we drew 5 cards. Okay, guys. Real quick, I'm gonna reshuffle this because I don't know which of those cards I accidentally overdrew. That was a good hand too. I'm really sorry. You saw Sir Hiss there? Yeah, he's a fun dude to have around, but that's what we gotta do. We want to play as fair as we can, even though we're a villain. Okay, let's try again. Make sure we only have 4 cards. 1, 2. See, I eat chocolate and I just forget about what I'm doing. Ta-da! Okay. Whoa, it's all allies. Okay. So your instinct might be to not play any cards. Like, hey, I have to spend power to play cards. Why would I want to get rid of power? I'm trying to collect power. But like I said, you're going to get faded. And it's not just your allies. You have items that will help you gain extra power per turn, and you want to look for those items and get them out there to keep your game humming along. We have 2 power, so we can play one of these allies. They're all pretty good. Rhino Guards are just sort of our generic brute force allies. Very handy, because there are a lot of strong heroes in Prince John's Fate deck. Wolf Archers, very handy, because they can defeat a hero here or at an adjacent location. So it's good to play them in the middle so that they can cover a lot of ground. Then you've got those goofy Vulture brothers, Nutsy and Trigger. You remember Trigger is a little bit accident prone, so he actually has this thing where other allies get -1 strength. So you don't really want to play him with other allies, but he's very strong on his own, so he's still very useful. And then Nutsy is the opposite. He gives strength to other allies. But you know what, for our money, because we are trying to make the most of our money, look, Trigger is 4 strength, just like the Rhinos, but he only costs 2 power. So we're going to play him right here to Friar Tuck's church. That uses up all our power, so we're not going to play another card, and that's okay. And that's all we can do at that location for now. So we're going to be done. Going to draw our hand back up to 4. Ooh, and we have some bow and arrows. This is super handy. There are a lot of cards like this in different villains decks that you attach to an ally and it makes them stronger. But the deal with this is when you use that ally to defeat a hero, you just discard the bow and arrows. You don't discard the ally. You get to keep them around. Very handy. All right. I'll set you right there. I honestly... Oh, nope. All right. See, something about me is I'm trying to grab extra cards in this game. I don't know. That was a pretty good hand. I tend to not find the allies very quickly when I play Prince John. That's just chance, of course, but that was a whole handful of allies. So that was really good. You're not a complete loser, Prince John. We'll help you out here. Okay, so we're going to roll for fate. We discarded our first coin counter for our first turn. We do not get fated. We rolled a 6. When you roll for fate between your turns, if you roll a 1 or a 2, you play fate against yourself. If you roll a 3 or a 4, nothing happens. If you roll a 5 or a 6, you can play a condition card from your hand. We don't have any in our hand, so nothing happens. And that's fine. It's okay when nothing happens during fate, because sometimes no news is good news. All right. We're going to pick up some more power so we can do a few more things on our next turn. So we're moving to the jail and grabbing that 3 power. I'm going to... I'm just going to spend 2 power, and I'm going to play my wolf archers. And you know what? No, that's a dumb place to put them. We're going to put them here. Because usually, I mean, your opponents aren't going to play heroes to the jail. They're smarter than that. They're going to play them to one of these 3 spots. So we're going to put the wolf archers right in the middle at Friar Tuck's church, and then they can handle anybody in any of these spots. However, Trigger is here, and so they lose 1 strength, so I'm going to have to get on the ball and move Trigger somewhere else on a later turn. So I didn't quite think ahead on that, but here we are. It's fine. It's only the first 2 turns. We'll fix things up, and we'll be on our way. There's the discard. Like I say, I don't always find allies, and part of my strategy for Prince John is getting allies out onto the board so I can get rid of heroes, so they get out of my way. So this is a good hand. We want to keep our allies. So we're going to draw our hand back up to 4. That's a pretty good one. Set a trap. We don't have any heroes to use it on at the moment, but it's a decent card. All right, so that's the end of our second turn. So we'll roll for fate. No fate. That's good. And then we're going to move back to Friar Tuck's church. We're going to get 2 power, and we're going to move Trigger out of the way. We're going to put him over here at Sherwood Forest. Okay. Cool. So now he's not in the way, but he's a very strong hero, or ally. He's a hero to me. You're a hero to me, Trigger. So he has 4 strength, and he can defeat most anything that comes up here. And the wolf archers are ready to take care of other people. What else we got? Let's also play Rhino Guards. Very heavy hitters. 4 strength. They cost 3 power, so that's all the power we have for now. But look, now we've got allies at all 3 locations except for the jail. But like I said, we don't usually worry about having allies at the jail. The only thing is some heroes, like Robin Hood himself, have an ongoing ability, and you need to get them out of your realm so they stop bothering you. But you can move them to the jail at least, so they're not covering up your action symbols, and they cause you a little less trouble, but you'd still have to defeat them. So you would want to get allies to the jail eventually, but it's not a priority. So we're down to 3 cards. We're going to draw back up to 4. Imprison. Okay, so here, if a hero was played somewhere, I could play Imprison and move them to the jail, get them out of my way. Yeah. I have 2 cards, 2 effect cards that affect heroes right now. This one's pretty useful if you have a lot of heroes in your realm, and you only have that 1 Vanquish symbol, so you can only defeat 1 hero at a time, but you can also move an ally to a location and then perform a Vanquish action. That lets you get rid of another hero quickly. We don't have any heroes to use these on right now, so it's possible that I might discard these just so I can find some more allies, and there's some particular items I want to find that are going to help me gain more power. So I'm back down to 0, but my realm is protected, so that's good. That was our 3rd turn. 4, still no fate. All right. Those rogues are hiding out in Sherwood Forest. Let's go back to the jail and get some more power. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach bow and arrows to the archers. You can attach it to anyone. You don't have to just attach it to people who actually use bow and arrows. But the wolf archers are only 2 strength, and these other 2 guys are 4 strength. So I'm going to boost them up a little bit. And then if I do end up using them to defeat a hero, I don't have to discard them. I just discard the bow and arrows. Very handy. We have room in our camera view. So let's move these up a little bit so we can see the bottoms of our cards. All right. Yeah, is that better, guys? Okay. Sorry about that. I keep doing that. Okay. Straighten things out a little bit. Make it nice and neat. Organization is important. Okay. Cool. Like I said, I have a discard symbol here, and so I'm just going to get rid of these two right now. Now watch. I'll end up getting heroes played against me, but for right now, there are some other items and allies that I want to find in my deck. I'm going to get rid of those. Draw my hand back up to 4 cards. Ooh, I got the Sheriff. Oh, hey, I've got another Imprisoned card anyway, so that's good. Cowards. Okay, so I have one of Prince John's condition cards. And, you know, condition cards are usually named after a character trait of that villain, so he definitely has cowardice. This is super helpful. It lets you get another ally into your realm during someone else's turn, so it just helps you boost the strength of your realm. So we still got Nutsy. We still got, now we've got Sheriff. Sheriff of Nottingham is one of those allies you don't typically use to defeat a hero if you don't have to because of his ongoing ability. At the start of my turn, before I move, I can move the Sheriff of Nottingham to a location with a hero, and I can gain 1 power. So it's like he's taking attacks from them. So, you know, 1 power at a time, every little bit helps. So we will probably want to get him out on the board soonly. All right. I don't think I paid that 1 power for the bow and arrow, so let's do that. Were you all like watching, waiting to see if I would do that? Like, oh God, is he going to remember to pay the power, or is he going to screw up the whole game? Okay. You might be hearing some nice pitter patter of rain. Honestly, I love rain. I love a rainy day. It's nice to just sit here with the rain outside, playing a game. The only thing is, I have a window unit AC that sticks out, and if the rain gets really heavy, it makes so much noise, so we may have to pause if it gets really loud. But we're doing pretty well so far. All right, that was the end of our 4th turn. We got some good cards. Our realm is looking strong. See, King Richard's not the only person who can rule this realm. 6, so we're still not getting fate played against us. You know, it's kind of weird, y'all. I don't know if you've noticed this in these videos. Fate seems to have been hitting our female villains more than our male villains. I don't know what is cosmically up with that. Perhaps I'm reading too much into it. Oh, you know what, though? Look at that. We did roll a 6, which means we can play a condition card, that condition card that I showed you earlier. So we can play an ally from our hand for free. So I will take my most expensive ally, Sheriff of Nottingham. I'm going to get him out here. I'm going to stick him over at the jail. So I get to play him for free. And now my entire board is covered with allies. If a hero gets played, I can take the sheriff from the jail and move him there and gain some power. Well done. Well done, everyone. Okay. We're going to draw our hand back up to 4. Oh, okay. This, there's only 1 copy of this effect card, as far as I recall. So I almost never get to use it. It's another thing where you get to perform a Vanquish action without having to use the Vanquish symbol. And you can keep the allies in your realm. So that helps you save money on having to spend on allies. Okay, so we'll put our 2 effects together and we'll put our 2 allies together in our hand. Okay. Oh, guys, I am so sorry. See, I can't be trusted. What did I just do? So we moved there, and we rolled. Okay. So we're going to do this. We're going to put these back. And we'll get those back at the end of our next turn. Because when you play a condition card, That is not your turn. You know, so you don't get to redraw your hand. You have to wait till the beginning of your next turn. Guys, I am trying not to go bonkers all by myself. I usually do great by myself, but obviously I'm losing it a little bit, so I'm sorry if watching this game is frustrating and you're screaming at your screen, but we've got it back on track. Okay, so heading into our next turn with only 2 cards, we're going to go over here and get some power. 2 power, and we're going to finally play Nutsy, and we're going to play him here to the Wolf Archers, because again, the Wolf Archers have less strength than our other allies, so we're going to add Nutsy here. He's got 2 strength, and he gives the Wolf Archers 1 more. So now the Wolf Archers have 4 strength, and he has 2. So we've got 6 strength here. I gotta say, that's pretty good. This is a really good run. We've got really strong allies everywhere. I'm happy with everybody. I could have moved the Sheriff of Nottingham if I wanted to, because he can move at the start of his turn, or at the start of Prince John's turn, but there's no heroes to collect money from, so we're not going to worry about it. Now we're going to end our turn, and now we're going to grab those cards. So those 2 cards we were looking at earlier, we've got another Wolf Archer. We've got Intimidation, like I was talking about before. And then now this card will be a mystery. It'll be something new. We'll find out. It's another Imprison card. You know, sometimes I really want fate to hit me because it gets boring if you don't have any heroes to make things interesting with. So that was the end of our 5th turn. We have... Oh, see, I'm doing it again. 2 power for Nutsy. So we only have 2 power. So you're thinking, oh my gosh, we're 5 turns in. We only have 2 power. We're trying to collect 20 power. But like I said, you've got to build a strong base with Prince John. In this case, we built a lot of allies. There are also items that you can put out that help you gain or preserve your power. The direction of this game was just that we used allies. So whatever strategy you take, just strengthen your realm in your first few turns, and then you are free to start raking in the power as the game goes on. Plus, it makes people think maybe you're not good at it, because they're like, oh my gosh, isn't he supposed to collect 20 power and he's only got 2? And then they might not think you're much of a threat, and they won't play power on you, or play fate on you. 5. I don't have any condition cards. Okay. Whew. There's not a lot to do right now, y'all. So let's go over to the jail, get 3 more power, and play Wolf Archers here. This just gives us some more coverage. You know what? There are items that I'm looking for. So I could discard a bunch, but because we've rolled a friendly fate roll 5 times in a row, I'm not trusting our odds. So I'm going to keep these cards here to protect us. So I'm going to call that the end of my turn. Oh, here's one of those items I was talking about. Okay, that's very good. All right, so we're okay. We'll do that. And we'll end our 6th turn and roll for fate. Oh, you know what? What would be an interesting rule is, stop me if this sounds stupid, if you haven't rolled fate, then every 5 turns you get fated anyway. What do you guys think? That might be something good to implement. We'll see. 4. Still no fate. Okay. We're just gonna take it. This would not be a typical game for Prince John, because he usually gets fated a lot. So we move to Friar Tuck's Church, gain 2 power, and then we're going to play King Richard's Crown. If Prince John is at this location, all card costs are reduced by 1 power. So we have 2 play a card symbols here. So this would be the best spot to put the crown. because we could play 2 cards at reduced price later on. Oops, in the game. And that's the only card we're going to play. We're going to draw our hand back up to 4. We've got this set of trap. We are, guys, we are really ready for heroes. So what do you say we go ahead and just play fate on ourselves right now? Forget the die. I'm making an executive decision. So we're going to play fate on ourselves. I'm going to draw the top 2 cards of our deck, our fate deck, and then decide which one we're going to play. Oh! Okay, these are great. Honestly, the heroes in Prince John's deck are pretty great. But I already know which one I'm going to play. So, Friar Tuck. When Friar Tuck is played, discard all warrants from his location. We don't have any warrants right now. That's one of the items I was looking for. Warrants help you by giving you power if a hero is played to their location. They're very handy. We just haven't found any yet. So if I were an enemy playing fate against Prince John, I'd be like, well, he's not useful. But Lady... Oops. That's in the way of my fate discard. Lady Cluck is 6 strength. She's one of the strongest heroes in the game. I love it. And she cannot be played or moved to the jail. So Prince John can't move her out of the way over here to get her out of his hair. He is stuck with her. Now, I normally would like to play a hero here to cover up that 2 power spot and that play a card. But I know that he already has a lot of heroes stacked up here. So, I mean, really, because of the wolf archers, he can defeat her anywhere she goes, come to think of it. So it really doesn't matter. If we were playing against a less prepared Prince John, this would really stick it to him. And it's going to anyway, because he's got to use a lot of allies to get rid of her since she's so strong. She's even stronger than Little John and Robin Hood. It's really great. Okay, so that's Fate. See, that was a good choice. We got to see the Fate deck a little bit. Okay, so we're now going to move to Nottingham. Gain 1 power. Before we defeat Lady Cluck, let's just perform some other actions. And we're going to roll. Nothing happens. Oh my goodness, you guys. Look, I forgot to do this. I'm going to put a pause on it because I'm not going to do it now because I lost my chance. It's supposed to happen at the top of your turn. The Sheriff of Nottingham, I should have moved him over here and gained 1 power. I failed to do that. Sheriff was sleeping on the job, so he missed out on our chance to get 1 power. But what we are going to do is play Intimidation. Lady Cluck would normally clear us out of allies because it takes so many to defeat her, but since we have this card, we're going to use it. We're going to use our play a card symbol rather than our Vanquish symbol, and we're going to play Intimidation for 2 power. Or we could not. Guys, watch me be indecisive. Let me take that 2 power back. Let's rewind. I'm not going to defeat her yet. I'm going to leave her right there. So there. What do you think of that, Lady Cluck? Alright, we're not going to do anything. Ha. Okay. That's the end of our turn. Let's roll and see if we get fated again. Oh, we do. Okay, so now things are picking up steam. Okay, so we have Toby. He's a very weak hero, and really all he does is go back into the Fate deck when you defeat him. That's his only ability, so we're not going to worry about that. Maid Marian, however, when we defeat her, she brings out Robin Hood. So this is a very good hero to play. We're going to put her over in Nottingham, cover up our Fate action, and our gain 1 power. All right. Yeah. Now it's getting interesting. Okay, now we're going to see what I meant to do before. I'm going to move to Friar Tuck's church, where I have the crown. So that's the start of my turn. Now I'm going to... well, I can really move him anywhere. This will work any place. But this will be the best. Sheriff of Nottingham, we're going to move him here, and we'll get that 1 power. And then we're going to play... Intimidation. And since we're at the crown, this costs us 1 less. So the crown helps us save power. So we only have to spend 1 power. And that lets us perform a Vanquish Action without discarding the allies that we use. So we get Lady Cluck out of the way. And now we've uncovered her symbols. So I can gain 2 more power. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my other play a card symbol to play Imprison. I'm going to just use the 2 power that I just earned, and I'm going to move Maid Mary into the prison, get her out of my way. So I'm still risking... Here's the thing, though. I don't have to defeat her now. Because if I defeat her, she brings Robin Hood out, right? But there's no other ability of hers right now that bothers me. And since she's in the jail, she's not covering up any of my action symbols. So I can just leave her right there in jail for the entire game. Yep. That's what we're gonna do. Even better, she can be there the whole time, and Sheriff of Nottingham can continue visiting her and collecting power. I've never played it that way before. That's really good. That's a good move on my part, you guys. You just were here for this. I hope you realize. We basically have... What I realize is we basically have, for the rest of the game, just available power whenever I move Sheriff Nottingham over there. So, yeah. So we drew 2 more cards. They are both condition cards. We already played Cowardice before. Greed, obviously, is the other character trait of Prince John. So if another player had 6 power, then during their turn you would play this and you'd snag 3 more. Okay? Oh, that was a good turn, you guys. We did good. We still have only like 5 power. I like to just leave my power in a random pile when I play Prince John. You know, the temptation is to stack it up so that you can count it, but then your opponents can too, and they can see how much you're earning, and they can start hitting you with fate. And who wants that? Nobody. I mean, you don't. They do. But... Alright, so no fate, but we get to play a condition card. We can only play 1. We couldn't play Cowardice anyway because we don't have any allies to play. But we get to play Greed. We get to play Greed, and we gain 3 power. Yeah, it's stacking up. Well played. Okay. So then we go into our turn with 3 cards. We don't redraw till the end of our turn. But we still have plenty of things we can do. We're going to start our turn by moving to the jail, and then we'll move Sheriff of Nottingham over there. So we gain 1 power for that action. And then we gain 3 power from our gain power symbol. Ugh. Okay. I'm not going to play any cards because they don't do anything for me right now. I'm going to discard my 1 condition card. I have lots of allies right now, so I don't need to. I'm not in desperate need to play any for free. So that's the end of that turn. Before we end our turn, though, we're going to start using these tokens. You'll notice there are 5. What is 20 divided by 5? 4. So what I'm going to do, and when those little plastic yellow jewels come, this is what I'm going to use them for. I'm going to trade in 4 power tokens for 1 jewel. And that just keeps it from being such a mess over here. Again, like I said, you may or may not want to do this, because if you start stacking up your tokens, then your enemies can see how much power you're gaining. And that may not be something you want them to realize. But it looks pretty. You know? I don't know. Aesthetics versus strategy. Okay, light's fading in my room, but I think you can all see okay still. So let's draw our hand back up to 4. Hey, we found Sir Hiss again. Remember when we accidentally found him at the beginning of the game? We found him again. Okay, cool. He's a very useful ally to have. So that's the end of that turn. We'll discard a coin counter. And roll for fate. Aw, see? I could have played Cowardice after all and played Sir Hiss for free. Oh well. It's okay. We're going to move to Friar Tuck's church. We're going to gain 2 power. And we're going to use our move item or ally symbol and move Sheriff of Nottingham over. So then that way on our next turn we can move him again to Maid Marian and gain another power. We could also move him on our own. His ability lets him do that, but I don't have anything else I need to move right now, so it's fine. Well, let's play Sir Hiss to this location. He's not a very strong... Oh, and we only have to pay 1 power because we've got the crown here. So we're going to pay 1 power. We've got Sir Hiss now. Not a strong ally. He's only got 2 strength. But what he lets you do is, if Prince John is at Sir Hiss's location, you may perform 1 action that is covered by a hero at that location. So I like to keep him here at Friar Tuck's church because this one's really vulnerable. With Sir Hiss here, you can still grab that 2 power if someone is covering, or if you need to play 2 cards, you can play that second play a card symbol. So this Friar Tuck's church is quite busy. We've got those wolf archers with their bow and arrow. We've got Nutsy making everyone stronger. So actually Sir Hiss is 3 because Nutsy's here, and we've got the crown. So this is a crowded location, but it's very useful for us. And a lot going on there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead also and play Rhino Guards. So like I said, they're very strong. We already have Rhino Guards and Wolf Archers here, so this is pretty strong. Sheriff Nottingham is there. I'm going to play them over here. They do get -1 strength from Trigger, but they're 4 strength. So that only brings them down to 3. And with Trigger, we have 7 strength here. So that's still a lot. It's not a terrible sacrifice to make. Okay. Whew, guys, we're killing it. We're going to buy another gem for 4 power. You can cash these in, obviously, like you're making change for parking. But I don't have any set rule on how this works. I'm just doing it once per turn. You don't want to trade all your power in because you need to spend some of these, and then you'd have to change a thing in, and like, who likes making change? So, end of our turn, drawing our hand back up to 4. Oh, we finally got a warrant. Okay, I prefer to find these things early in the game, but here they are anyway. So we'll get to one of those later. Excellent. So let's do a quick count. Each of these counts for 4, so we have 8 power there. And we have another 4 here. That's 12. So we have 13 power. That's really good, guys. So you see, we're halfway through our turns. And it was really slow at first, but now that we've built up this strength, we're saving power here with the crown. We're snagging extra power by having a hero in prison. It's working great. It's working the way it should, because we set ourselves up for success. All right, so that's the end of that turn. We're going to roll for fates. We don't get it again. Alright, so beginning of our turn, we're going to move to the jail. We're going to move Sheriff of Nottingham here and grab another power. Then we'll gain our 3 power from that symbol. And then we're going to play Warrant. Okay, so when you have a warrant at a location, you gain 2 power each time a hero is played to this location. You have 3 of these total in your deck, so you would play 1 to each of these 3 locations, because again, no one's going to be playing heroes to the jail unless they're really dumb. Again, since this is kind of an important location, that we're going to stack yet another card here, so that if someone is ballsy enough to do that, we'll have them cornered. Okay, that's a lot of cards there at Friar Tuck's church. But he is a generous man and has room for all. Okay. Okay, that's all. Did I... Guys, I can't remember if I spent the 1 power for the warrant. So I'm just going to do it. Don't worry, guys. This is the last game of the first edition, the first thing. So, oh, cool. Okay. All right. That's the end of our turn. Let's go ahead and buy another gem. So this marks us as having 12 power here, and 3 more, that's 15. We're really closing in. So that's the end of our turn. This might be another low fate game. You know, we tried to rig it a little. I'm really shaking up this die trying to get different numbers. Because I know y'all love Robin Hood, and we want to see him, even if he causes us some trouble. Hey, there we go. Alright, so we're playing Fate. Oh my goodness! I spoke too soon. So, Robin Hood. The amount of power that Prince John gains from each card or action is reduced by 1 power. Okay. We're a smart player, so we're not going to play him to the warrant, because that would play right into Prince John's hands. We're going to play him over at Nottingham near his lady, and he'll cover up that fate symbol and that gain 1 power. So he slows down our progress in gaining power, and especially early in the game, if Robin Hood comes out, he can be a pain in the butt, because it's hard enough getting started at the beginning of the game, much less if you're getting 1 less power for everything. At this point, we're pretty strong, so he's probably not going to be that big of a deal. Okay, so we start our turn. We go to Friar Tuck's church. We only gain 1 power because Robin Hood is here. And then we're going to play. And you notice that I didn't move Sheriff of Nottingham because his ability only gives you 1 power and Robin Hood reduces it by 1 power, so it would be pointless to do that anyway. But what I am going to do is set a trap. You may move an ally to any location and perform a Vanquish Action. So I'm going to pay the 1 power, and I'm going to use... dig them out of here. I'm going to use these wolf archers and move them over here. That's the ally I'm going to move. Then I'll perform the Vanquish Action. So remember, I only have to discard this item rather than the ally. So they were 3 strength, and I need 2 more strength to defeat Robin Hood. So I will discard my other wolf archers, but one of them gets to stay. So we have successfully gotten rid of Robin Hood. without too much trouble. So that was one card. I'm going to play Beautiful Lovely Taxes. It would have been nice to play this with Robin Hood because there were 2 heroes. But again, he reduces what you earn by 1 power. So I only would have gotten 1 power anyway. So I'm going to play it now. I'm going to get 1 power for having made Marion in the realm. And then I'm going to use my move item symbol and move Sheriff of Nottingham over there. Alright, so we're going to draw our hand. Did you all just hear my stomach grumble? Or, I don't know, maybe that was gas. Hey, we got another warrant. Good for us. We got more bow and arrows. That's definitely useful. We got some more wolf archers. Okay. We're rolling right along. Look, we've got 16 power, and we still have a few turns left. Really jumble up this die. Try to get some variety in our rolls here. 3. That is definitely a number we haven't rolled yet, but nothing happens. It's fine. Let's move over to the jail. We're going to gain 3 more power. We move Sheriff of Nottingham and gain another power. And we're going to play a warrant to Nottingham to protect us from future heroes. The warrant, you don't usually get anything from them, I found, because people don't want to play the hero to where the warrant is. So they will play them somewhere else. But it just means that you're limiting the options of where heroes can go. So you're kind of shoving them into a corner. And that's good too. You're making them less problematic. And if you have all 3 warrants out, then they're really stuck because they either put them somewhere where you gain power from it, or they have to stick them in the jail. Okay, so we're done with that. Let's count our power. We have 1, 2, 3 of these, so we have 12. Let's buy another gem. This is not normally something you would do during a normal game. This is just me playing with these new tokens I have. So this represents 16 power plus 3. That's 19 power, y'all. We're very, very close. Okay. Let's draw our hand back up to 4. There's another Beautiful Lovely Taxes. And we're actually getting close to the bottom of our deck too, so we may end up reshuffling it. That's the end of our turn. We'll roll for fate. No fate. No condition cards, because we don't have any. Let's move to Friar Tuck's church and gain 2 power. And all we're going to do, let's see, well, we will move Sheriff over just to have him there. We might not even need to use him again, but we'll play Beautiful Lovely Taxes. We only gain 1 power, but every little bit helps, and we're right on the edge of meeting our goal, so that 1 power is maybe all we need. I'm not going to play any more cards. This is the point of the game when you've got your realm really built up, where you can start being stingy, because you're getting really close to your goal, and if you don't need to play a card, don't play a card. Draw another card, got some more Rhino guards. That's the end of our turn. Let's buy another gem, which means this is 20 power. Look, we did it. We have 20 power plus 2, so we have 22 power total. But the objective states start your turn with at least 20 power. All right, so you want to be really evil to ourselves? Let's just enact that rule about every 5 turns you have to play fate on yourself anyway. Because we could really screw it up for ourselves. Wouldn't that be fun? What do we have? No. We can't. All right. That's really not screwing us up at all. That's Skippy. Very low strength hero. You can't use wolf archers against him, so you have to use somebody else. It's fine. I was really hoping for Little John or for the Steal from the Rich card from the Fate deck. We surprisingly did not get hit with that. I seem to get hit with that a lot in other games. But that's the end of Fate. And now our turn starts, and we have 20 power plus 2, so we have 22 power. So we've won. We've won. We didn't get fated a lot, you guys. Let me show you what I'm talking about here in the Fate deck. You already saw Clever Disguise. This is really good for attaching to a hero, and then Prince John has to pay 2 power to discard it before he can defeat that hero. Steal from the Rich. This is what I was talking about. You take up to 4 power from Prince John and stack it on a hero. And then he's got to defeat that hero to get the power back. Little John, that's his ability anyway. So you could play Little John. He's got 5 strength. He's a big hero that takes a while to defeat. So you play him, you'd stack a bunch of power on him, and then if you were able to later, you could play Steal from the Rich, and then he'd have 8 power on him. He'd be stealing a lot of power from Prince John, and Prince John would have to defeat him to get all that power back. But that's something you can do strategically, is maybe just leave a hero like that with a bunch of power on them, gain some power, get close to your goal, and then defeat the hero and get a big, like, payout, like a big cash payout, and then suddenly have a bunch of power and be closer to your goal. You got his brother King Richard, who prevents him from playing effects. That can actually be really tough, because it means you can't use your effect cards to defeat him. You've got to use your allies. And then Alan Adale just makes the other hero stronger. So this wasn't too hard. I think Prince John's game, especially for first-timers, is a little more on the easy side, but it can be confusing because your goal is a little more nebulous than find this card and capture it or defeat that hero. You're just trying to collect power, and it's like, okay, how do I go about that? But you go about that by building a strong realm with lots of allies. Get your warrants out if you find them. Use the crown to reduce the cost of the cards you have to play. Use your allies so that you can still perform actions and you can get some extra power every turn. And it gradually builds up. If you don't want to stack your power neatly, just leave it in a messy pile. Count it yourself so that you know, and then your opponents, I mean, they can lean in and count it, but they're not going to immediately know how much power you have, and that way they're less likely to strike at you right away. All right, that was a fun game. Like, it wasn't as entertaining as it would have been if we had gotten faded more, and Prince John usually gets faded a lot, guys, so that's why you have to build up all these allies. Oh no, I'm dropping gems. But we won anyway, and you got to see a lot of stuff, so I feel good about that game. That is the last villain from the original game, Villainous, The Worst Takes It All. We played through all 6 of them now. And from here on out, we're going to be moving through these expansions. They have 3 villains each. The first one is that purple one, called Wicked to the Core. And so we'll be playing with the Evil Queen from Snow White. I love her game. It's one of my favorites in the whole game. I love the design of it. I love the play of it. One of my all-time favorites. So I'm excited to play that with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you are taking care of yourselves. And stick around. We only got through 6 out of 15 villains so far. There's a lot more to come. I will not let you get bored. All right.